positively Florida. Take a look at this. This gator had quite the audience yesterday at Circle B Bar Reserve in Polk County.
Something unbelievable keeps happening in Florida. Tourists keep capturing footage of crocodiles so massive that experts have started calling them living monsters across the state. Quiet neighborhoods, sunny beaches, and golf courses have become unexpected arenas for these colossal predators. This massive gator was on a Florida golf course. This is all over Twitter and Facebook. People just loving this picture. It was taken at the Maca Pines Golf Club in Englewood. That's near Port Charlotte. He was spotted last week moving from one pond to another. Some are seen calmly strolling across roads. Others crash through fences or slip into backyard pools, leaving residents in shock. Measuring over 12 feet and moving with unsettling confidence, these reptiles blur the line between myth and reality. In this video, we'll uncover 20 encounters caught on camera that reveal just how powerful and unpredictable Florida's wild side can be. Proof that in this state, the ordinary can turn terrifying in seconds. 20. The Lakeland Trail Titan. Imagine walking a quiet Florida trail, the sun glinting off still waters, and then, without warning, a creature the size of a small car strolls out of the brush. That was the reality for visitors at Circle B Reserve in Lakeland on January 15, 2017. The massive alligator that emerged was so enormous it looked prehistoric, moving slowly and deliberately across the path as people stood frozen in awe. Local Kim Joyner managed to film the encounter, capturing what would soon become one of Florida's most viral wildlife moments. Her video spread across social media, sparking disbelief. Some were convinced it had to be fake, but local authorities and NBC News quickly confirmed the truth. The footage was real. No editing. No tricks. Experts estimated the alligator's size at around 12 feet long and roughly 800 pounds. Even in a state where 1 million alligators roam, this one stood out calm and unbothered. The Lakeland massive crocodile showed everyone that Florida's wetlands still belong to their oldest, most fearsome residents. 19. Kiss Green Stroller. Ever imagine teeing off and having to pause because something prehistoric just wandered across your fairway? That's exactly what golfers at Stonegate Oaks Golf Club in Cam, Florida, experienced in March 2025. Out of nowhere, a massive alligator, estimated at 12 to 13 feet long, casually strolled across the green, halting swings and sending cameras snapping. A tourist couple was quick to pull out their phones, capturing the crocodile moving steadily across the fairway. It didn't rush or panic. Instead, it continued on its path as if it owned the course. Golfers watched from a safe distance, some whispering in disbelief, others laughing at the surreal sight. The footage went viral, drawing attention online as viewers marveled at the sheer size and calm demeanor of the reptile. Even in Florida, where alligators are common, one this large, wandering so openly near people, is unusual. This golf course colossus is evidence of the state's wild side, where nature can appear in the most unexpected places, sometimes right in the middle of a manicured fairway. 18. Everglades Shadow Giant. In 2023, tourist and wildlife photographer Kim Clark was exploring 9 Mill Pond in Everglades National Park when she spotted a massive American crocodile. Estimated at 14 feet, the animal moved deliberately through the shallow water, its thick tail slicing the surface and its broad, armored back pushing through the reeds. Crocodiles of this size are rare in Florida, and even from a distance, their power and presence were unmistakable. Clark's photographs captured the full length of the predator, including its muscular build and formidable jawline. Encounters with crocodiles this large are uncommon. especially for someone casually exploring the wetlands. And the images quickly drew attention from wildlife enthusiasts and experts alike. Unlike the more frequently seen American alligator, this species is less common in Florida and can be unpredictable in the wild. For a tourist like Clark, the sighting was a mix of awe and caution, a close-up glimpse of one of the state's top predators. The photographs provide a rare record of a wild crocodile at the height of its size, moving silently yet undeniably dangerous through its natural habitat. 17. City Crossing Colossus. In January 2025, residents of a suburban neighborhood in North Miami got an unexpected wake-up call when a massive crocodile wandered into their streets. Estimated to be human-sized, the reptile calmly crossed a city intersection near Highland Park's lake, its powerful tail brushing the pavement, and its long snout scanning the surroundings. Wildlife experts described such urban encounters as extremely rare, especially for crocodiles of this magnitude. Video footage captured by a local onlooker shows the crocodile moving past homes, playgrounds, and parked cars, giving a clear sense of its enormous size. The footage quickly circulated online, alerting neighbors and authorities to the presence of a top predator in an area usually dominated by human activity. Florida residents are familiar with alligators, but large crocodiles in urban environments are uncommon and unpredictable. Officials were called to capture and relocate the animal safely. Still, for those who saw it firsthand, the encounter shows that the state's waterways can sometimes spill over into city streets, bringing a rare, powerful, and potentially dangerous wild predator into the heart of human neighborhoods. 16. The Palmetto Fairway Giant. Picture a quiet Florida golf course. Sunlight glinting off the fairway, the slow rhythm of a weekend game. Then, without warning, something stirs near the pond. Out of the brush walks a reptile so large it looks unreal. At Buffalo Creek Golf Course in Palmetto, golfers Charles Helms and his friends stopped mid-swing, unsure if their eyes were playing tricks on them. The massive alligator lumbered across the green with slow, deliberate steps, its tail carving tracks through the grass. Helms pulled out his phone, capturing what would become one of Florida's most unbelievable golf course encounters. Later, he admitted he thought the creature was fake, a prank someone had set up to spook players. But as it moved, breathing heavy in the afternoon heat, it was clear this was no model. Experts later estimated the gator's size between 14 and 15 feet, nearly the largest ever documented in the state. When it finally vanished into the water, silence fell again, broken only by the wind and the quiet awe of two men who had seen Florida's wild side up close. 15. School Path Predator. Imagine walking to school and spotting a 12.5 feet alligator cruising down the very path children use every day. That's exactly what residents of Penless Park experienced on the morning of May 14, 2025. The massive reptile moved deliberately past chain-link fences through a quiet neighborhood, prompting immediate calls to the Penless County Sheriff's Office. Deputy footage shows the alligator's muscular frame and powerful tail as it navigated the path, giving a rare urban view of one of Florida's top predators. When authorities arrived, a licensed trapper carefully restrained the animal, even sitting on its back while taping its jaws shut, ensuring safety for both the alligator and the deputies. Eventually, the creature was relocated to a secure natural habitat in South Florida. While male alligators averaged just over 11 feet, this one surpassed expectations, offering a rare glimpse of raw power moving through a residential area. For students, parents, and neighbors, the encounter served as an explicit reminder. Even familiar routes can bring wildlife unexpectedly close. The footage highlights the size and strength of these predators when they leave their waterways behind and step into human spaces. 14. Clearwater Kitchen Intruder. In Clearwater, Florida, a family woke up to something straight out of a movie. An 11-foot alligator thrashing around in their kitchen. According to the Clearwater Police Department, the massive reptile had crashed through a low kitchen window on Eagles Landing Circle West just after midnight. Broken glass littered the floor as the animal knocked over chairs and hissed at anyone who came close. A professional trapper was called in and safely captured the gator. Police confirmed no one in the home was injured, though it's unclear if the alligator was released or euthanized. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission says most gators in such cases are deemed nuisance animals and rarely relocated. In 1 year alone, over 8,000 alligators were removed from Florida homes and yards. Officials believe this one was likely on the move during mating season, which runs from May to July. Males can travel miles in search of females, sometimes ending up in places no one expects, like the middle of a suburban kitchen in Clearwater. Spring Hill drive-through giant. It was just another humid August morning in Spring Hill, Florida, when customers at a Wendy's drive-through got a shock no one expected. Parked between two sedans was an alligator, not a small one, but a thick-bodied 7-foot 8-inch reptile calmly resting on the pavement. Deputies from the Hernando County Sheriff's Office arrived on scene, lights flashing across the lot where the gator barely twitched. The call came in on August 31, 2023, and officers quickly contacted the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. A licensed trapper soon followed, carefully securing the animal as curious onlookers filmed from a distance. The gator was later removed under Florida's nuisance alligator program, which handles thousands of similar cases every year. Spring Hill sits near the Withlacoochee River, a region where the boundaries between wild and suburban often blur. With more than 1.3 million gators spread across Florida, sightings like this aren't rare, but few happen in fast food parking lots. For the locals, that morning became another story, proving that in Florida, the wild sometimes shows up right outside your car window. 12. Publix parking lot predator. Evening traffic was rolling steadily through Penless Park when a passerby noticed something unusual near the Publix on Park Boulevard. It wasn't a loose cart or a stray dog. It was a 7-foot alligator calmly walking down the sidewalk as if on a grocery run. Witnesses later joked the reptile was on his way to pick up a pub sub, a line that quickly became local legend. According to Lieutenant Roxanne Pohl, the gator seemed to follow every traffic rule as it moved toward the busy parking lot, ignoring cars and curious onlookers. When police arrived, it had made it all the way to the entrance, pausing as if unsure which aisle to choose. Officers from Penless Park Police carefully corralled the animal and called in Florida Fish and Wildlife for assistance. The gator thrashed a bit, clearly frustrated at being interrupted, but was soon secured and relocated to a nearby 30-acre lake. Nobody was hurt, and the brief encounter left shoppers with a story that blended Florida's everyday humor with its wild, unpredictable nature. 11. The Fort Myers intruder. You expect to find coffee in your kitchen on a quiet Sunday morning, not an 8-foot alligator. That's exactly what Paul Quinn encountered in his Fort Myers home when he turned from his laptop. The reptile had forced its way through a damaged patio screen and casually entered through the open door, landing squarely in the dining room. At first, Quinn thought the noise came from his dog, but the sight of a massive tail and glistening eyes quickly proved otherwise. The gator moved across the room, knocking over chairs, leaving mud tracks, and even biting a chair leg in its attempts to navigate the unfamiliar space. Quinn immediately called 911, and officers from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission responded, bringing a trapper's pole to subdue the animal safely. The trapper wrestled the gator from the dining room, carefully securing it before transporting it to a North Florida farm. The Quinns decided to keep the damaged chair as a lasting evidence of the encounter. It's a reminder that in Florida, even a routine morning can turn into a close-up meeting with the wild. Wildlife authorities handle thousands of calls like this each year, ready to step in whenever humans and alligators cross paths. 10. Porch-side predator alert. It's not every day you spot a 10-foot alligator outside your front door, but that's exactly what happened in Avaria, Florida. A resident noticed a massive gator resting on his walkway, completely unconcerned by the neighborhood activity. Weighing around 400 pounds, the reptile slowly moved toward the source of a neighbor's barking dog, drawing immediate attention. Residents grabbed their phones to capture the unusual visitor. One neighbor described hearing a big swishing noise before spotting the alligator casually sitting near a yard statue, eventually climbing onto the porch. Despite its size and strength, the gator remained calm, observing its surroundings before returning to the nearby pond it likely called home. Homeowners later shared the encounter with a mix of awe and disbelief. Florida's wildlife proved once again how unpredictable it can be, showing up where least expected. While authorities weren't needed, the visit served as proof that in this state, even a quiet afternoon on the porch can turn into a close encounter with one of the region's most powerful predators. 9. Reptile visitors. Most homeowners expect to see packages or neighbors on a porch camera. But in Ava Maria, Florida, one Ring doorbell captured something far more unusual. 2 alligators waiting outside. One balanced on its hind legs, seemingly inspecting the doorbell, while the other lingered nearby, almost like a watchful companion. The homeowner quickly shared the footage online, and it went viral. Social media users responded with a mix of disbelief and amusement, joking about dinosaurs at the front door or imagining putting the house up for sale. Local weatherman Matt Devitt noted that in Florida, encounters like this aren't entirely unusual. The line between suburban life and the wild can blur quickly. Although the gators caused no damage, the video offered a striking glimpse of how bold Florida's reptiles can be. Every day, technology like doorbell cameras now provides an up-close view of wildlife interactions that most people would never expect. It showed that in this state, even a routine morning at home can turn into a surprising meeting with nature's most iconic residents. 8. Elementary Predator Showdown. A routine day outside a Jacksonville elementary school turned into a tense spectacle when a massive 10-foot alligator appeared in the parking lot, drawing nearly 200 onlookers. The gator's sheer size and power made it clear it wasn't going anywhere quietly. Licensed trapper and MMA fighter Mike Dragage faced the beast head-on. Video footage shows him first grabbing the gator by its tail, attempting to control the animal as it thrashed and resisted. The creature's strength was evident as it slipped free, refusing to submit. The crowd's screams filled the air, blending fear with awe as Dragage shifted tactics, finally securing the gator by the neck. What followed was a tense struggle of force and skill, each movement measured against the gator's raw power. After several intense moments, Dragage successfully restrained the reptile, demonstrating both courage and experience. The alligator was then safely relocated, leaving a shaken but amazed audience behind. This encounter tells Florida's dangerous wildlife and how quickly everyday spaces, even near a school, can become the stage for a confrontation with one of the state's most formidable predators. 7. Gazebo duck eater. Hunger drives Florida's alligators to bold behavior, and nowhere was this more apparent than at Palm Island Park in Mount Dora. A 10-foot gator was spotted inside a gazebo with a duck in its jaws, forcing the park to close temporarily as authorities monitored the situation. When alligators are hungry, they can become unusually aggressive, exploring areas normally crowded with people in search of food. Police and wildlife officials warned visitors to stay clear, emphasizing that even a routine stroll along the boardwalk could turn risky. The gator's presence showed how quickly Florida wildlife can shift from hidden to conspicuous when seeking a meal. Authorities kept the park fenced off while tracking the reptile, prepared to relocate it if it didn't leave on its own. By the following morning, the gator had departed and the park reopened. The brief closure highlighted the potential danger of hungry predators moving into public spaces. Even familiar recreational areas can become hunting grounds when wildlife follows instinct over caution. 6. Beach crocodile encounter. Most beachgoers in Central Florida expect to see sand, waves, and the occasional seabird, but an 8-foot American crocodile turned that expectation upside down at the Barrier Island Center in Brevard County. The reptile was spotted lounging on the sand far beyond its usual southern Florida range, roughly 88 miles southeast of Orlando. American crocodiles typically inhabit coastal areas throughout the Caribbean, and southern Florida marks the northern edge of their territory. Seeing one this far north is rare, making the encounter noteworthy for both wildlife officials and visitors. The Brevard County Environmentally Endangered Lands Program shared photos of the crocodile, highlighting its unusual appearance and reminding the public to respect its space. While the crocodile posed no immediate threat, its presence on a public beach drew attention to how wildlife can occasionally appear well outside typical habitats. For local authorities, the sighting reinforced the need for awareness in areas where people and rare predators may unexpectedly cross paths. The Barrier Island encounter offered a unique up-close view of a species rarely seen so far north. 5. Urban gator stalker. Florida's wildlife sometimes turns up where you least expect it. Ike inside an Orlando apartment complex. On a Tuesday morning, residents got a close encounter when a 6-foot alligator was spotted hiding among the buildings, blending into the shadows as if it belonged there. Orlando police officers arrived quickly, carefully assessing the situation before taking action. Body cam footage captured the tense moments as the gator was cornered, its mouth gently covered with tape, and then wrapped in a towel to ensure safe handling. The reptile was moved to the complex's backyard before being transported to nearby Lake Mann, where it was released unharmed. Even a gator of this size can be intimidating when it finds its way into urban spaces. The incident served as evidence of how Florida's reptiles sometimes wander far from their natural habitats, seeking shelter or exploring unfamiliar territory. Residents were left in awe, sharing the story online, while authorities highlighted the importance of caution and professional intervention. 4. Furious condo invader. Residents of a North Naples apartment got a stunning explanation of Florida's unpredictable wildlife when a 5-foot alligator climbed 2 flights of stairs and appeared on the 2nd floor lay. The gator, agitated and fast-moving, seemed determined to reach any open space, its presence sending immediate alarm through the building. Wildlife trapper Ray Simpson, known locally as Ray the Trapper, arrived to handle the furious reptile. Despite its smaller size, the alligator fought fiercely, thrashing and lunging as it was wrangled. Simonson captured it in just 5 minutes, but the encounter highlighted how aggressive and bold gators can become, especially during mating season or after heavy rains, when their movements increase dramatically. Simonson noted that alligators can turn up nearly anywhere in pools, garages, vehicles, and even elevators, emphasizing the need for vigilance. In this case, open doors and access to stairwells allowed the gator to explore the building unchecked. For residents, the incident served as a stark lesson. In Florida, these predators are relentless, fast, and capable of reaching places most people would never expect. 3 Keys pool invader. A homeowner got an unexpected wake-up call when a 10-foot crocodile appeared in their backyard pool on June 11, 2023. The massive reptile slid through the water with its tail thrashing and body moving with deliberate strength, an unusual sight for a suburban neighborhood. Neighbors quickly grabbed their phones, capturing video and photos of the powerful animal as it struggled against the pool walls. Wildlife officials were called to handle the situation. Trappers worked carefully to restrain and relocate the crocodile to a safe, natural habitat, protecting both the residents and the animal. The footage provides a rare chance to see a large crocodile up close, highlighting its size, muscular build, and capability as a top predator. While alligators are more commonly seen near homes and canals, crocodiles are far less frequent in urban areas, and their presence can be unpredictable. 2. Venice home invasion in Florida. The idea of an alligator showing up inside a home can seem almost unbelievable. Yet, that's exactly what happened to Mary Hollenbach in Venice. Her quiet day turned tense when banging at the front screen revealed a nearly 8-foot gator inside. The massive reptile had traveled from a nearby pond, crossing yards and a street unseen before, forcing its way through the door. Hollenbach immediately called 911, and Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies teamed up with Florida Fish and Wildlife officers to safely remove the predator. Even at just under 8 feet, the gator's size and strength made the encounter dangerous, requiring careful handling to ensure no one was hurt. For Hollenbach, an ordinary day at home became a tense standoff with one of the state's most formidable predators, reminding residents near ponds and waterways to stay alert and keep doors closed. 1 gator in family pool. In Florida, a backyard pool can sometimes turn into a stage for one of the state's most formidable predators. In Volusia County, an 11T alligator burst through a screened porch, leaving a huge tear in the mesh before diving straight into a family's pool. Homeowner Lynn Tossi described the moment as surreal. 1 second, the water was calm. The next, a massive gator was floating where her family usually swam. Florida Fish and Wildlife officials responded quickly, but even an experienced trapper admitted this was no ordinary removal. The alligator's size and strength made the operation tense, a proof of just how bold these reptiles can become, especially during the breeding season when they're more active and roam farther from their usual habitats. This encounter highlights the unpredictable side of Florida wildlife, where even a familiar backyard can turn into a scene of raw nature. What would you do if a gator appeared in your pool? Could you stay calm, or would you run for cover? Let us know in the comments below. Stay tuned, and we will see you next.